just had a quick go on Battlefield 3. They're showing off Operation Guillotine here, which is one of the campaign levels, single player levels. It's on PS3. It's really interesting to see it running on PS3 because I've only really had hands-on so far with the PC version. It looked very similar to some of the stuff I've seen before in terms of that it's in Tehran, it's in a congested urban area, lots of shootouts through narrow corridors, but graphically it's holding up reasonably well. The PC version is obviously lovely, PS3 version text details a lot lower, but character animation is great and the audio is brilliant. Shows something of the diversity at the Tokyo Game Show, because here behind me you've got the Sega stand, you've got the EA stand, which has got very Western games like Need for Speed, Battlefield, FIFA on it, but then right next door there is a very strange Japanese rhythm action platformer. So just in this tiny space you've got a sense of what the Tokyo Game Show is about this year. It's not an enormous show compared to E3, but it's just got a certain amount of diversity maybe you don't get at a Western show. Here's a big trend that's happening at the moment on the HD consoles, which is they're getting classic games from older consoles and HDing them up and then re-release them. Right behind me is Ico, which is an absolutely beautiful PS2 platform action adventure. It's been re-released in HD along with its follow-up, Shadow of Colossus. Over in the Konami stand, they've got an HD version of Metal Gear Solid, which again has all been rezzed up and re-released. It's a great way to make money from nostalgic gamers and an effective new revenue stream for publishers and developers in these kind of challenging economic times.
When you're a smaller company, we wear a lot of hats, as we say. People expect that the people working the booth are hired to run the booth. And they're like, so people come up and go, hey, is anybody from development here? Like, well, I produce the sound, and that's the artist over there selling stuff. And so they get really surprised and really excited about it. That it's like, oh, you're all here and you're doing it. And it's really great because this kind of goes back to that DIY, do-it-yourself philosophy, which is really our roots.
I'm at the Capcom stand in the demo area for possibly one of the most popular games at the show. This is Monster Hunter Tri-G, the latest in the huge Monster Hunter series, which is massive in Japan. This is the 3DS version of the game, and it comes with this new slide-on controller. It adds an extra analog pad here, and it also adds extra shoulder button here as well. Well, there and there, so it feels quite plasticky, but it's kind of grooved at the back, so it's quite comfortable. It's interesting, it adds a lot of bulk to the machine, but I can see how it's going to be useful. The 3DS hasn't done as well as Nintendo hoped so far. It hasn't been a massive success. That's why they had to reduce the price and announce lots of games last week at a big press event. Monster Hunter coming onto this machine is a really big deal. It's very difficult for us to understand in the West how big Monster Hunter is because it's not a huge name in the UK and Europe, but in Japan it's a phenomenon. It really is. So Monster Hunter coming onto the 3DS could really be a game changer for Nintendo. Strangely, the Tokyo Game Show isn't just about games, it's also about bizarre biometric accessories. The company behind me, called Neuroware, have just released a product called the Neko Mimi. It's essentially a pair of fluffy ears you put on your head, which also has a reader which senses your brainwaves. So if you concentrate, the ears go up, if you relax, the ears go down. I can't relax. It comes with an application. See here, and it measures your brainwaves and what you are. If it goes red, it means you're alert, and if it calms down, it means you're relaxed. Sort of thing you might not find anywhere else, so I don't think you're going to find fluffy biometric ears at E3.